So I went ahead and boiled off a bunch of macaroni before I even started this video. If you don't know how to make noodles, you're an idiot. I don't really know what to do to help you. Alright, so now that we got our pasta out of there, I like to take just a little bit more water, throw it in there, go and let that kind of start to boil down, toss in a bunch of pre-shelled garlic, and I always like to start with basically the hardest thing you're going to cook, put it in there, because it's going to be our garlic, it's going to be the hardest thing, put it in there with a little bit of water, let it to kind of start to break down the garlic, let it kind of simmer, blanch it down a little bit. Give that just a minute. While that's going, we'll go ahead and chop up some of this onion over here. And if you don't like onions, y'all got to put onions in this, but I just think it tastes way better. Do it to flavor, and do it to the amount that you want, do it to whatever you want to do. And I like to chop up nice big thick pieces of onion. Clean up as you go, letting this garlic get down there. As you can see, almost all the water is evaporated. So once we get all that water out of there, we're going to take a bunch of butter. You don't got to use butter, you can always use olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, whatever you like the most of. You're going to let all that water get out of there. Now get this butter going. So this will add a bunch of flavor. Help that garlic cook down. Kind of acts as a median for everything. Onions. Along with our big shells of garlic, I also like to use minced garlic too. Probably about that much. Or that much. While we let that cook down, we'll probably start working on our mushrooms, but because our mushrooms are so much softer, I'm going to put them in way later. Personally, I don't even really like to wash my mushrooms. I just kind of like them all dirty and just let them do what they're going to do. Kind of wash this, make sure that we're not going to burn it. But like I said before, this is going to take just a minute to completely cook down. Totally missed my target demographic with guys who can't cook for themselves. It's actually moms who don't want to cook for their kids. Who knew? That's about enough mushroom. So now we'll just wait for this to cook down just a little bit more. Looks like we can use a hair bit more butter. Typically you can tell when you gotta use some more butter is when stuff starts to stick to the bottom of the pan. I typically don't like that. And then what you're looking for here is just for everything to kind of start to turn brown. Right as it starts to turn brown, we'll start to add our meat. And this is kind of a bit, this is a full pound. I think I'm going to use probably about 3/4 of it. Toss the rest away for who knows what. So we got everything starting to turn brown. And add a little bit of wine. This will help everything kind of cook down. Now's the perfect time to add all of our seasonings that we're going to add to this too. So pepper. Oregano leaf. A little bit now, a little bit later. And then later on we'll also use a little bit of nutmeg once we add our cream. So now we wait. So that's going to also start our oven to broil high. It's looking as good a time as any. Chop this up. You want to get as much surface area as you can. Using this big pan is what's nice about it. Well, that's working. I'm going to go ahead and get this French loaf prepped and ready to go into the oven. So I'm going to take pesto. I put pesto on everything. Pita chips, bread, cereal, I don't care. Boom. Alright, let's go ahead and add our mushrooms to this. If you wash your mushrooms before you put them back in your pan, be careful. Mushrooms are kind of like a sponge. They'll soak up a bunch of water and you'll end up like boiling your meat. It's pretty gross. One time I ruined a bunch of steaks from doing that. Alright, let's see how close this is getting. Alright, this is pretty good. I just added Italian, like mild spice. You can get like chorizo if you want to. You can go wherever you want. I chop up any bigger pieces of ground beef that you still have in there. Check the inside, see if they're looking too pink or not. But this will all continue to cook as we go on. Heavy whipping cream. And I like to just kind of do it to eyeball. So I want just a little bit more than that. Say a little bit of that flavor. Then I like to come back and hit this all over again. Pepper. Oregano leaves. And this is a little trick that somebody showed me one time, a little bit of nutmeg. Let's go ahead and get these in the oven. And I'm just putting them on the bottom rung here. I want to allow that bread to kind of really get a nice softness in the inside, but allow that cheese to kind of caramelize on the top too. So once you get your sauce here kind of boiling like this, or rolling, let's go ahead and just start adding random cheeses to it. So I'm going to add the rest of that mozzarella. I'm going to add some clearance Tillamook Italian blend. Probably a bunch of it. Some cheddar. For the fun of it, I'm going to add some of this Munster that we used the other day. I really like Munster. Probably just one more of these. Now it's going to get this all stirred up in here while this is still boiling. May have been a bit early on adding the cheese. Typically I like to let the sauce kind of boil a little bit more, kind of start to come down. So that was probably just a little bit early. I'm trying to keep each one of these videos to about under 10 minutes long. Just kind of keep this a nice stir on it. And I cook almost everything on absolute high, so you really want to be careful. If you're not as quick, you'll definitely burn some stuff. And right now we got a nice consistency going on here. So I went and gave a little rinse to all this macaroni. Now we're just going to go ahead and add it back in. Same pan. Just go pretty much until everything's nice and coated pretty good. Just going to add some more. As you can see, I didn't rinse this very good. Should have rinsed it right off the bat. All that starch is still on the noodle. And that's about a nice coverage. Let's go ahead and add just a little bit more. Alright, beautiful coverage. So now, because I love my cheese, we're not going to stop here. We're going to add more Italian. To the entire top of this thing. Now the reason why I like to use the Italian is because it's a little bit stiffer of a cheese. It will harden up a little bit better. Now this whole thing goes back in the oven. There you have it. oldest dish in the book, macaroni and cheese on steroids. Hope you love it.